So recently I've been thinking about DMZ, and the reason I've been thinking about it is because it's kind of the only reason I'm interested in Modern Warfare 2 right now. Like, multiplayer is probably just going to be like 2019's multiplayer, which I hated, and the campaign's a Call of Duty campaign, and then even Warzone 2 is its own free thing, so that doesn't even come into the equation at all. So really the only reason I'm interested in this game is DMZ. And you wouldn't think that's the biggest problem in the world, because people say that about COD Zombies all the time. Like, the only reason they're buying these games is because of COD Zombies, which is great and all, but I do have some concerns with this DMZ game when it comes to replayability. And to really explain what I mean by this, you kind of have to understand exactly what DMZ is trying to be. And what that is an extraction style game mode that is similar to Escape from Tarkov. And if you guys are not sure what that means, then I'll link my video explaining it on screen right now. But for the people who already know how these games work or have watched my video, you would know the general idea is that you load into a match, you collect a bunch of loot, and you try to extract before you die, because if you die, you don't get to keep any of that loot. What you do from there is use that loot that you collected already to be stronger and not die as fast, and then collect even more loot and try not to die, and then lose all the loot that you had on your character and try to extract. You know, that's the whole idea of the game mode, which is a fun gameplay loop that is really high stakes, and that kind of adds to the funness of this game mode. But to me, I do feel like there is going to be a point during this game mode where it just isn't as replayable. Like, let's just say you get to a point where you have like the majority of the loot that you want. Like, sure, there may be a couple things here and there that you're like, I wish I had that, but you just don't right now. You still want to go get it eventually, but overall you have most of everything you want. And at that point, how replayable is this game mode? And that's something I'm worried about here, and it's kind of the whole reason why I'm making this video, because I do think there are some ways to make this game a lot more replayable and do something that is super crazy and could really shake up the extraction style game mode. And I think that there is some inspiration they could look around to figure out exactly how they should do this. And before I get into that, let me first say this. So after you've been playing the game for a while, as I've already mentioned, you have a ton of loot. Like, what's the point of that? What are you going to use that loot for? You have a ton of it and you have nothing to use it for, so why do you have it? Well, that is exactly why I'm thinking they should add in a system similar to Destiny and Destiny 2's raid system. And for the people who don't know what Destiny raids are, I'm sure there's a video that will explain them in depth out there somewhere, but for now I'll give you a basic understanding. So Destiny raids are like these kind of long, drawn out, I guess, missions, you could say, that have a lot of different things you need to do along the way, whether it be just defeating random grunt enemies or even some mini bosses, or even completing objectives to even solving puzzles. Those all happen along the way, with at the end finishes off in a crazy boss fight, and the reward for doing this is some incredibly exclusive loot. It's a really cool system that works really well in Destiny. And to me, I think this is something that Call of Duty should take inspiration from for this DMZ mode, because you've been collecting all this loot already. I mean, you might as well use it to do something difficult with. And what I'm arguing they should do is use it to beat these really difficult raids, and that's something I think would just be such a great idea for this game mode. It brings in two different style of games, kind of like the looter shooter that Destiny is and the extraction style game mode that Tarkov is. And I think just mixing those two ideas together could just be really fun, because there's two ways to play the exact same game mode. You could play it exclusively as the extraction style game mode if you wanted to, but if you want something more, there is that something more, and what that is are these crazy raids that come every now and then. Obviously, they're not always there all the time. If you guys know how raids work in Destiny, it probably works similar to that. But it's just for that extra step, for the people who want to do something more with this DMZ mode. And I think that would be something that would just be so freaking cool for Call of Duty, just to add a system like that. And to me, I really don't think that this is such a crazy idea that they wouldn't do something like that, because this is supposed to be the third game mode, right? So you would think, oh, well, they're not going to do that much with it. It's the third game mode. But I'd stop you right there, because the other third game mode in Call of Duty is literally zombies. And zombies have something very similar similar to raids already in them, so they really don't even need to look to Destiny for inspiration for this. They could take ideas from COD Zombies, where they have something called main Easter eggs, or I guess they now call them main quests. So just take inspiration from that and have these crazy boss fights or crazy quests that you can go on if you want to, that you could use that ton of loot that you've already collected. Stuff like that would just make DMZ special. Like, sure, it'll be fun if it's just like Tarkov and it's just an extraction style game mode, but if they take that next step and take inspiration from Destiny or even Call of Duty Zombies with its main Easter eggs, I think that DMZ could be something special. And I just can't but help but think, like, how cool would it be that every couple seasons we just get a new raid that we could do and new crazy super exclusive loot that you get at the end of it. Like, so many ideas could work so well and it would be so freaking cool. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see till September 15th, where Infinity Ward is probably going to officially announce DMZ and explain how it's going to work. Crossing my fingers they do something like this, but we'll have to wait and see. Regardless though, I'd love to hear what you guys think of this idea. Is it something that you think would be really cool for this DMZ mode, or do you think it's not really the same? Or do you think the extraction game mode should be extraction game modes and shouldn't add in the, the zombies main Easter eggs or even the Destiny raid style stuff to it? I'd love to hear all your guys' thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. Regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, and all that great stuff. But I'm going to go. I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be. And laters, guys.